Hey guys, and welcome to the NiBBLE FNZA Series Week 14 Finals. Guys, today is going to be an interesting gameplay. I mean, even more so an interesting week. And because, we got to Week 14 today and the Week 15 at 5 o'clock the same time. So, it's going to be an interesting one, guys, especially for a lot of these teams, It is a make or break weekend. And I can tell you that some of these teams are going to go all out. We're going to probably see some of the best gameplay from the teams, or the worst. It will depend on how they play. But welcome, guys, to the tournament over here, guys. We got 5 games that will be happening over here, guys. And you can see exactly that over there. So the 5 games will be ending at 7:30. The first game just had started. We're going to jump on board with that over there. The prize pool for the evening, guys, is going to be 2,000 Rand. 1,400 Rand going to first. Second place taking up a 600 Rand prize pool. 6. And then, yeah, so that's literally what we have for you guys. So it's going to be a really, really interesting evening. Let's go jump on board, guys, with some of the competitors that we have for you guys today. And why not go and jump on board with potential winners, Travis, the Cov, and Rejects. So this team, really, really interesting. The games haven't yet started for us, but they will soon, so don't worry about it. But yeah, the games will be starting soon, and I can tell you it's going to be an interesting afternoon. The likes of Neymar, Woke, Scarra haven't really found their footing just yet. So it's been very tough for them, finding their chemistry and synergy going into the local tournaments. So it hasn't been too easy for them, and that's why I sort of say today, guys, or this weekend, it is a make or break weekend, and we may see, name on them having the biggest comeback, winning both NiBBLEs, or just not having to clutch up and finding themselves in a sticky situation, which will potentially break the tournament apart, the trio apart. But that's just my own analysis, and as a caster, that's what I sort of tend to talk about quite a bit. So let's see exactly what will be happening over there. And yeah, but the game, guys, is going to be going into action right now. So let's go jump on board with Travis over here, and we see exactly what we have for him. So let's see Travis gameplay, and we got him over there. So GG's. So yeah, Travis, the Cov, and Rejects, like I mentioned, guys, potential winners here for you guys in the tournament. And not only that, guys, but we also do have, Reepsy, the likes of Reepsies as well, who's in the tournament over here. So let's go see what Reepsy has on board for us, and we'll get them all into the POV. So yeah, the trio over here as well, Reepsy's trio, is just as good as Travis one. I think even better because of how, the individual of Reepsy really IGLs his team and so forth. We can just get everyone into the POVs, and we got Gloves, Squizzy, however, this time around instead of Havix for this finals over here. Havix is a new fill onto the team. New perma trio onto the team, but it won't be present with us here in the finals. And then on top of everything as well, guys, we do got Race, who's in this tournament, and he's going to be playing with a Fever. So let's see what happens over there and how the players really play it out. But yeah, so much to talk about, so much to say throughout the entire tournaments. And I can tell you, it is not going to be an easy battle for most of these guys. We also got Luka Rakic, the likes of Luka Rakic over here, guys. So you got Luka Rakic, Vibes, and Ryder. Interesting trio. They will be landing at Steamy Stacks, and we'll get their gameplay for you guys right now. So you can see a perfect drop spot for them. And then on top of everything, we also do got Stormtestros, who is in the tournament as well. But we don't have his POV, unfortunately. So let's see what happens over there. Does look like he's going to get a perfect shot on. Opportunity here for Rakic, but he is damaged quite severely, so he's very low. Player got the AR out of mats. He drops down. Vibes goes in from behind, and it does look like they do get that knock. So he bought himself a little bit of time to come through over there. And oh, Luca puts himself in the open. It's going to be a GG's. Hopefully the team is able to clutch up just a bit, and we get to see that coming to action. But off spawn, really looking kind of tough here for the team, I must add. Hopefully Ryder is able to get this revive onto Luka Rakic, and then they can be at full force. But as it stands right now, it is a 2v2 situation if they don't get Luka on board, and they do so. So that's really good. Luka disengaging from that, trying to get a flank onto the team. Hopefully they're able to find a couple people over there. There's some bandages, a medkit as well. Now Rakic gets back to 100 HP, and this is going to be good for the team. They just need to make sure that they play this to the advantage. The other thing is that, you know, the team managed to get the reboot card, and they will disengage from this fight completely so that they can still have a fighting chance in the tournament. No trio or player has died yet, confirmed, except for that individual over there. So that is going to be a very stacked game number one that we have on our boards. Game number one that we have on our boards, guys. First game of the evening here for NiBBLE Week 15. Let's see exactly what the plays are going to be looking like. Does look like they find the opponents. He tries to get a little bit of a door pump. A nice 54. Rakic just needs to get his SMG on board, and he does so indeed. A little bit of a shakedown. Gonna reload and cancel out that shakedown. Does look like there's just one individual left over here. A 3v1, which should be easy for the team. A little bit of a surprise attack onto Rakic, but this looks good for him, and he can come through with the win. It does look like they've managed to revive the players, but Rakic and them come through, guys, and they go through with an off-spawn fight, and that is going to help them out so much in the games. We'll go watch Travis POV, and we see exactly what's happening over here. Just a couple shots onto Camp Card, which they may potentially need, as Storm Surge could potentially be happening here for us in game number one. Nice tags here from Rejects. And this is Travis. Nice tags in all honesty. He just needs a tag, but he is going to get head dinked. And a head dink, not body shot. Shield broken. Now needs to heal up. But this is good for him. He's just getting a lot of tags over here. He is risking his HP, but it's fine. Still early parts of the game right now. Go over to Aviva, who seems to be in some action of some sort. Ryder is dead, but they also do got one elimination as well. Not Ryder, Cobra. He is dead. They do find this player, and no, his pump does not shoot, and now he's in a sticky situation. Aviva comes in for support, and it does look like they're going to try to get some angles over here. Aviva finding himself in a battle. Going in for the SMG spray. Aviva is quite low, but it does get the knock. He's going to get the shakedown as well, and they're going to find exactly where this one player is. They see him. They can go for this, but more importantly, they must focus on getting that card. That card is expiring in 27 seconds. And at least that's what they're going to do right here. They also have a Scar to play with, and Aviva, Race, as well as Cobra still have a fighting chance here in the NiBBLE Week 14. Tomorrow, guys, Week 15 will be happening as well, so make sure you guys come through. It does get that elimination due to the storm or the car exploding, but it happens, and it comes through with a good off-spawn fight, so massive stuff happening over there. And we go over to NiBBLE, guys. You know, the make or break for him this weekend. A massive weekend for him, guys. Let's see whether or not he will be able to clutch up and show us exactly what the team is made for. How they can come through with everything. So Skara, Woke, and NiBBLE, you know, they've been playing in the tournament for some time now. They now need to really, you know, clutch up, because all odds have been against them the past couple of weeks, and, you know, a lot of social media lashback as well in terms of, you know, the decisions and that has gone into play with NiBBLE, Woke, and Skara. But, you know, I feel like this is the weekend. If it's not this weekend, when will it be? The deciding factor, or the point mark right here, that is going to be really crazy in terms of how things go. But let's see what happens with everything going forward. They see a team, they're trying to focus this team. And we're down to 72 players, and now the zone is starting to close in. This is a stackeroonie that we have on our hands here on the NiBBLE FNZA Series Week 14. Taking this fight early on could be quite dangerous, but they managed to get the beam, they managed to crack him down, and now they can go into this build fight with an advantage, having to slow things down. They managed to get the height here as well, so now we get to see a potential pump and almost a crack. They do get it, so now one player has gone down. They want to get this elimination. They can't find it, unfortunately. Maybe Woke can get this one. He has no clue what happened to the player. Trying to find him. They do get that finish, though. Unfortunately, they were unable to do a shakedown. a couple third parties over here in the area who are now taking on the fight with Neymar, Woke, and Skara, potentially best fighters in the game, and that's what they use to the advantage. They get the wall. Can they put the pressure onto the team to keep on doubly keen? They need to go and get those refreshments as well, as Neymar did build up quite dramatically. He can go in for the refreshments over here. Let's see whether or not he does so. But the pressure is still coming in from their oppositions, you know, trying to get in the walls and so forth. They get those refreshes and he's back at decent mats here. 67 players, so that Storm Surge won't be present for game number 1. Skara does look to be taking a couple fights for himself, just fending off the enemies that are around. None of these are theirs, so they need to get out of this and expand if they want to. But that zone now forms up for Neymar on them, and they need to start making those rotations. Let's go see who is around. You know, potential people that could be around is Reapsy or Popcool. Not particularly Popcool. No, I don't think Popcool would be in this area. But we do find, you know, Reapsy and them in the early form of rotation with one player down, trying to get the revive here, and they can potentially do so. Hopefully they come through with a clutch play, and we get to see the team with a revive on them, and they get a reboot player in. Now all the way outside Corny Corpse, a different location altogether. We do have Rejects, Travis, and the Cub in the rotation over here. They're going to build over here and just get some cover and have the cover for themselves. A good place to be. Maybe they did get some eliminations and they do need that metal, so they're not going to be too risky with it. They're going to just get themselves a good a base over here, but they won't be in the next zone. That is for sure, because, you know, they're going into third zone and you need to be center all the time. Nice knock onto Boxy. Rejects gets that finish, that confirmation. Now sitting on 4 kill points. This is where it starts to get saucy, right, chat? This is where things start to pick up and players start to get kills. A double dink or one dink and body shot coming in onto Rejects over there. And, you know, they do got the launch pad. They got the mythic item as well, the mythic org. And if you go over to Travis POV, he's also got a launch pad. He's got a blue AR, a blue pump, some 15 red peppers. So honestly, the team right here is looking really saucy. They already got items to their advantage. You know, they also got a red chili chugs to focus on that rotation endgame whilst healing at the same time. Talk about a huge loadout going into the endgame, and a first stacked one, right? Because this is not going to be an easy form of rotation for the team going forward. But we also got Gloves in them who have been eliminated, unfortunately, and who won't be in the tournament over here. So let's go see what's happening with Race and Aviva. They seem to be on the back end trying to make some rotations, but they are in the zone, getting tagged up quite a bit. Now down to 4 blue, 61 white. What would be the play for them over here? Just about to get into zone. Nobody really focusing them up too much. Still a 2 ticker, but once the zone closes in, becomes that 5 ticket, becomes quite dramatic for a Race, Aviva, Cobra. They need to now make that rotation to the center zone. Hopefully they make it successfully from them. Top of everything, we also still got Luka Rakic in the game with Ryder and Vibes. Now, what would it be if Luka Rakic with a complete new trio somehow wins this tournament? I mean, so far, you know, they got the kill points. It's those 3 kill points that they did get off spawn. They're looking very much happy with it, so they're in a good position. But now they just need to focus up on those placements, and, you know, we'll potentially find them in a good setting going into the first game leaderboard. But it's not always possible, you know, having these things set from the teams and having them go into the finals, etc., final games with some consistency, especially if they're having some off-spawn fight. If they drop is somehow bad and they don't make that drop, then it could be tough for them. They're trying to get a focus over here. He does have the ammo to clear the tree. It does look like one player is going to be knocked over there, so they can try get this elimination if all three players focus onto this. The player is cracked over there, and this doesn't look good. This could potentially be Travis and them. I don't know. Let's go jump on board with Travis, guys, and see what's happening over there. Because the only team I know who has that sort of play is Travis and them. Could it have been? I don't think so, no. I don't think it was Travis and them. Storm Surge warning with 10 people needing to die. I think we do walk out with the Storm Surge getting activated. Onto Piv, Altus, and Smiley, guys. Let's see how they're doing. We'll bring their POV up for you guys right now. And there we go. So, does look like they need to deal. No, they're happy. They're fine. The teams we have on board, guys, I think they're all going to be perfectly in a good position for Storm Surge. Doesn't look like any of these teams will be struggling at all for Storm Surge. Maybe Reapsy, because, you know, they had to play it safe, trying to get some players rebooted. And you can see here that he is in a sticky situation with only 8 damage above, now 71 below. They need to triple spray this and maybe get a couple tags, but doesn't look like it's going to go into their advantage. And no, they do it. It works for them. 93 damage, and they're in a good place going forward. So nice for them. They just needed that, but they're now back to 20 below above, so that Storm Surge gets activated and things start to get a little bit rumbly for them. Reapsy sending his players for a couple red chili peppers. I think they survived this one. If all 5 players stay alive, it could be quite tough for them. Reapsy will get knocked, however. That's going to put them in a sticky situation. They need to rotate in 10 seconds. That zone's going to start pushing them now. They have no white heals as well. I don't see how they can potentially get out of this one alive. Launchpad over there, but he is a smither of HP. Taking a launch right now will just be tough for them. He can't take that launch, because if he does, he's going to find himself being targeted. And all it takes is a little bit of a tickle on his HP, and it could be dead. Temperata and Delex, they go in comfortably. He's gonna get focused here. Reapsy trying to make it out of this one. Good rotations from him. Nobody really focusing, and no, he can't cover everything, guys, especially when his back is against the wall. His HP looking very tough on him. He can't cover everything, and he's gonna find himself getting eliminated over there. Let's see whether or not Damar is alive. Travis and them looking comfortable. Let's see whether or not Travis and Neymar and them are alive. It does look like the players on height is going to be Neymar, Scara, and Woke. And this could potentially go in their favor. They're playing so much more confident, so much more comfortable. Maybe they're putting their time into the practicing, and we're also going to see a uprising team from this one here. First game, guys. They use those chili peppers. Now need to make the rotations. They're going to get focused. They need to drop down into a good layer. Scara, Woke, still alive. Everyone's still very much happy with the rotations. He's going to get tagged up a bit. Still rotating. Very much good positions. But no, he gets boxed. Neymar gets boxed. He now needs to move all the way back. Find a different form of rotation to meet with these players. But before he does that, he's going to heal up quite a bit and then start making the rotations over there. So there's the team now. In and comfortable. So Neymar on them still very much good. Another Storm Surge gets activated. Let's go see what Luca and them are up to, what they're doing in the end games. Does look like they do get eliminated, unfortunately. If they played that a bit slower, maybe they would have been happy with, you know, how things are turning out for them. But the aggression there is just not good. Couple players getting Storm Surged. We did see those tags outside and around these players. Piv and Smiley still making decent rotations. Rejects, Travis, the Cov still alive in this one. They need to heal up. They got those chili chugs as well. 35 players. Storm Surge is still active. Still present over here. 33. One player gets eliminated to the Surge. And then we are down now to 31 players. Travis gets a knock over here, so that's good for Travis. He gets a knock. He now needs to make these rotations. Can't really drop down, but there's a far way for them to go, and they just follow their old tops. The player down below, and this is a good opportunity for eliminations. Can they get this wall? The players are trying to get out of there, but they're just going into the zone. And now they focus this. They get a pump. It's Temperat. It's the Lex. And Reepsy and them might just get taken out of this one. They still need to focus on that zone rotation. What a scuffed moment there for Delex and Tem. But they get more eliminations for Travis. And Travis and them now can focus on that rotation. Focus on those placement points. Because there's still 27 players alive in this one. And if they get taken out at this point, all these kill points will mean nothing. So they still get to live in this one quite happily. Players dying in the zone. This means placement points. They get a kill onto a Viva, racing them. But it does look like Travis is going to be in a sticky situation. He needs to get out of this one. He does get his siphon, so he's very much in a good play for HP. More players over here. Rejects is low. They need to use their chug splashes if they want to get into further of the zone. And just look at how they're dominating on the low grounds. They get to elimination. It's Race who's going to get taken out. And this is looking really saucy for them. Low ground warriors, I must say. They're just cleaning. They've managed to take the broom and they're sweeping away with eliminations and placement points. Talk about a cleaning service coming out from the trio, the Cub, Travis, and Rejects. And a pop-off here in game number 1 with a stacked lobby. This is looking good for them. And I said potential winners in here, and they are showing up to the party. They are showing with hype, with eliminations and placement points. Now going into these final moments, and we get to see what happens. But there's a play in the box. The Cub is able to clutch up. He does get that elimination. And now 6 players remaining. They do cover up their spots. Players drop down. It's a pump from Rejects. However, Rejects is going to get taken down. They still win the game. They still come on top with a Rejects, Travis, and the Cub victory royale. Talk about fantastic. 17 eliminations. Holy, what a fantastic play coming out from that team. And they just grab the low ground by the horns. They take advantage of that. And they just go into a massive pop-off of note. Guys, we'll be right back while we take a little bit of a short break. Don't you guys go anywhere. Remember to share the stream to everyone. And we'll get to see exactly how many people we can pull through. But for those of you guys who are here, leave a thumbs up, hit subscribe, turn on post notifications. Because on Sunday, we will be going live with a cast at 5 p.m. Holy, holy. Make or break weekend. Let's see what Leaderboard has to say. Okay, so with that massive game going into play for Luca, no, sorry, chat, for Travis, let's see exactly what the tournament is looking like and who has taken, this first place position and so forth. We look at that games over there, and I'll bring it up for you guys right now. And you see that, and you see GG and XFA, Travis, Reject, and the Cub with a 44-point game. That is 11 points above Ginger, Jamie, and Crispy. And then you also got Smiley, Altus, and Piv in third. Just look at that. That's double the points. So if Travis and them half their points in two, they'll still be in top three. You got Aviva, Race, and Cobra in fourth with 19. Bravo, Neymar, Woken, Scara with 16. So we're looking at a more confident Neymar, Woken, Scara this time around. And that's what I'm loving to see. It is a make or break weekend, and they're making it work for themselves. In sixth place, we got Light, Punishers, and BVD. So 14 points over there. Card Legs is going to be Divs, Card, and Davs with 14. Minx, Jovi, Spidey with 10. Slain, Vagrant, and Skittles with 8. And then in 10th place is going to be Septic, Vex, and Phazon. So that is the plays we have for you guys over there. So it's going to be interesting games that we will be getting on our hands going forward. And I wonder what, these players can do for themselves. But if you look at that schedule, we are delayed by a couple minutes due to game number 1. We still got 4 games happening. Game 2, Game 3, Game 4, and 5. So going into Game 2, some of these players, they're already good on the leaderboard, so they don't really need anything from them. Let's see whether or not they're able to clutch up a little bit of that, a little bit of there, for the teams. It would be really good for them to clutch up big time. And then on top of everything, you also do got, the prize pool. This is what the players are competing for. It is at 2,000 Rand. £2,000, 1,400 going into first, 600 Rand going into second. So yeah, that's gonna be an interesting game to see exact over there. So let's go open out to Luka Rakic to see the gameplay. Hopefully we do get some consistent off-spawn fighting from the players. Game has officially started. We are on game number 2. So let's see what these players and athletes can do and bring for us over here for game number 2. Hopefully we get the same representation as last time, which is, a huge pop-off coming out from the top 5 teams. Does look like Luca is going to have an off-spawn fight yet again, and we're going to see some good action coming in from the teams. Let's see whether or not it does happen. Gets himself an AR. Fortunately, can't really detect where the players are, and if the player does have a pump, this is going to be tough here for Rakic. Fortunately, unable to connect, and it is a pump. But he does get a huge beam. And he collects that one carefully to get that. So good off-spawn fighting that we have from the players. Let's see whether or not we can see. Baushi gets taken out, but Jetski does look like he is clutching up somewhere form or other. Let's go watch Aviva, guys, as Aviva is also in some fights of his own, of spawn. Hopefully we get to see that coming in from them. It does look like they are uncontested as it stands right now, but it would be interesting to see where they go. Fighting that we have from the players. Let's see whether or not we can see. So no game audio coming out.
But I don't really care if they do because they'll score.
Doesn't really matter. We have John Wick.
We
We
have
have
John
fishing
Wick.
spots.
As long as they don't take slow truck and stuff.
Guys, no game audio.
I got a pet. Okay.
Oh.
There we go. Let's go see then onto Luka Rakic to see his games. Does look like they get the eliminations they need to focus on that off spawn, and that was really GG's to them then. And now they go over to Reapsy to see him off spawn, and continuously we are seeing the player, you know, be uncontested. So that's a really good thing, is that, you know, people don't really want to come to Boney Burbs to shake things down over here and give Reapsy a battle, because when it comes down to it, naturally Delex, Tem, they naturally such good fighters, and I don't know if you've ever seen them in a one-on-one situation where they box fight, but Delex and Tem really know how to bring it up and get competitive when it comes to those box fight situations. So definitely you don't want to land at somebody who has good fighters and has been landing at Boney Burbs for the very longest time. So the team has been happy in some way, form or another at the areas of Boney for a very long time. Let's see whether or not they can continue that consistency in their gameplay. We didn't get to see them too well off last time around. We saw Delex and Tem get taken out by Travis the Cub early in the end game. So yeah, hopefully the rotations are going to be better for the team and we get to see a more positive one going forward. Does look like they will be finding some oppositions rotating. He will not take the shot, however, just let them freely rotate. And it does look like they're rotating far into zone, maybe for potential revive or reboot, so they should technically push that, but at the same time they can't, because, you know, the zone's going to be closing soon. We are having a much aggressive game number 2 here for us, guys. 58 players already remaining from 81. So yeah, everyone's sort of W keen. I don't think we're gonna get the same stat game as we did previously, but let's see what happens. Whether or not it does come to reality, it'll be interesting to see whether or not we did get to see that. Does look like a couple players are going to get revived, and we're back to 59 players. But Bravado are on the hunt. Neymar, Scara, Woke, but they're all looking to get some fights. They need to get to Scara as quick as possible. Neymar going into a bow battle, trying to take a couple shots here at the enemy, but now they're in zone. And this is going to be quite difficult for them. And maybe it is race. Maybe it isn't. But let's see. So it is in race, actually. Race still in zone. He's quite low on HP. He's going to need to make the rotations. We'll go back over to Neymar just to catch on what is happening over there for him. They're going to focus on disengaging, which is by far the best thing to do. Going to get tagged up. Has to use utility soon. Hopefully he's able to find a campfire before even needing to use his medkit. Gonna get tagged up. Almost just about to get out of zone. We'll leave Neymar's POV just so the pressure can dissolve from the team a little bit over there. And then we'll go over to Piv and Smiley. It does look like they're boxing up to try be safe. And then we'll go over to Luka Rakic to see what's happening over there. It does look like they are in a fight. So let's see what the plays are going to be like. They are sitting on 2 eliminations over here, guys. So let's see what the plays are for them. Does look like it's going to be a full disengagement from the trio that they were fighting. And they're going to now have to move on to somewhere else. Gonna be rotating as well. We'll go back to Neymar to see what the play is and what has happened and what has developed, but it doesn't look like anything dramatic just yet. All players needed some floppers, so it does look like maybe he used those utilities very early. And that wasn't, you know, maybe the game decision for them. And they were really very much opting in for, you know, to use those floppers in the end game situation. That would have been much more better for them. But unfortunately, they find themselves, you know, being tagged up by Storm, being tagged up by rotating players, and then they find themselves in that position. So, all in all, honesty, yeah, it's just a GG's, and hopefully we get to see them somehow better off in the end game for game number 2, game number 2 over here. Rejects, Travis, and the Cup, guys. Victory Royale winners here in the Cup. You know, they managed to get the game number 1 with 19 eliminations, 44 points. And that is so massive. The way they just controlled the low ground areas was really good to see coming out from them. And really exciting very much. So, hopefully, you know, in the end, everything does go off to them being consistent and they walk away with the victory. Because that would mean they are the FNZA Series Week 14 champions. And would be interesting to see what that means for them for tomorrow. And if they can keep on that consistency over to tomorrow. So tomorrow, guys, is going to be the Week 15 FNZA Series Finals, and that is going to be the latest one for October, and we're going to then go into a new month, means new weeks. So week 16 and 17, guys, is arguably going to be the best ones for us over here. We're going back, for those of you who are in the tournament, who want to know everything. Oh, gold level action shotgun. So yeah, for those of you guys who are in the stream, you know, who didn't get to qualify, we're going back to 33 team calls, and we're gonna be doing a little bit of two weeks again, and we're just gonna focus on that. But 2022, we're gonna be looking at, you know, making some changes and trying new things here for the Fortnite South African community. But we ask you guys kindly, you know, try support us as much as we can while we do this. Share the streams, get your communities involved, whether it's on TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Discord, whatever the case may be. Yeah, we'll be going into those positions. So it does look like CK and them have been eliminated yet again, and this is gonna put a mental, you know, situation onto CK, because I don't know if you guys have been seeing social media lately, but the player just hasn't been having the time of his life competing Fortnite South Africa. And you know, with the likes of Bojo, one of the best IGLs in South Africa, is not present in any setting or format tournaments for South African team, because he's down in the NA East. He's down in NA East in America, competing and trying to make a name for himself in the overseas scene. So he's left CK and Spooky to trio, and Spooky becoming an IGL who is also just as good, but the team just not working, finding the chemistry, the mentor also just not present for the team. Hopefully we get to see, you know, week 16, week 17, Spooky, CK finding their chemistry, finding their third, if they still with Kareem, or if they still remain, or if they need to find a new third. But yeah, name on them is currently top 5 right now, as it is. And we get to see, you know, his POV, and it does look like he's still very much happy in that top 5 position. 54 players remaining. We're on this position right here, guys, where we're about to get into the end game, and things are going to start unraveling us for now. But we are seeing Lurker in the kill feed quite a number of times, getting some eliminations. The mat count onto Neymar is just not looking too good. He's got 275 wood, 380 brick, 350 metal. And that's not essentially what you want to look at going into the end game. You really want a much better resource cap going into the end game. So yeah, name on them currently 5th. You know, they can continue staying consistent and trying to show what they're capable of. But I'm really starting to enjoy, and I'm happy for, you know, the trio trying to find their setting. It's taken some time, and hopefully this is the weekend where they make the most noise in terms of competing. I'd love to see a huge, you know, setting for the team. They're gonna get focused, and he now needs to get out of this position before the double edit had happened, and he is in a good position. So happy to see him, you know, making that rotation over there. Let's go over to Reapsy, guys. So a bad rotation for them, game number 1, right? So they found themselves being focused, a 3-2-1 sort of position for them, and they did get eliminated over there. But Reapsy, really good IGL. He can make a comeback of some note going into the future games, and we are in game number 2, so we get to see that. So it does look like we're gonna get a little bit of a storm surge, nothing too hectic. Has one player just needs to die, and that's literally possible. I've seen tournaments where a single player just does not die, and then storm surge comes into play. But it does look like this is Neymar above them. and they can get some beams over here. That is a knock onto Neymar. Neymar's in a sticky situation. Let's go over back to Neymar right now to see what happens over there, whether or not they can get the revive. They're trying to throw Woke. They're trying to get him to a decent position, and now they're reviving Woke. Hopefully they get this one. Skara obviously been focused quite heavily, and it does look like they are targeting that wall, but they don't find the players. But now they get focused yet again. Woke literally on 30 HP. They need to expand out. Those mats are being used. This is not a good position you want to find yourself in towards the end. Skara needs to drop down where where Woke and Neymar is, and then they'll be in a good position over there. Now they can low launch this one because it is on a terrain that is not most suited for the players. So they're on a terrain here. They can now make the rotations. They're going to use a 50 big pot, and we'll see what happens over here. They can, if they want, and have the balls to do so, they can go through with a ballsy move on the zipline over here. A couple good breaks coming in from Woke, which is really good to see. And the team is still alive. The team is still active. Going over to Victory Royale winners now. Rejects and Travis. Let's see what's happening with these 2-3 Titans. The Cub as well in this tournament. They got the Chili Chugs yet again. Just how broken is their RNG? They got an Org. They got the purple lever shotgun. They got the mythic Org as well. They're going to be launching out into the zones over here. And it does look like they're trying to find towards the backside, but gets tagged up for a body shot. Still safe. Travis making the rotation. Finds himself a good location to be at. And then everything looks safe. Everyone is safe. Nobody's taking damage. And they can continue just focusing on the rotations over there. Hopefully we get to see a Rakic 50th zone as well. Does look like he is eliminated, unfortunately. So we won't be able to see him in the tournament. And maybe a Keaton. No, Keaton is dead. So unfortunately, won't be able to see that one either. Now we go over to Perv, Smiley, as well as Altus. And it does look like this trio is in a good position. And they get a beam. This is a good opportunity for them to jump in. But now they're getting aggressive and then they're getting focused. And not really where you want to be. Not really where you want to be. They can't get their finish. It doesn't look like they can because they get focused. They got in a sticky situation, but they go in now. They get another knock. And this is looking good for Perv and them. As they get these eliminations and these kill points, the moving zone has now formed. And they now need to make that play over to the next location. And hopefully they do have some launch pads for themselves. They are trying to clear out the pass, and they find the player. The player has a launch pad, so they can quickly launch out of this one right over here. There goes the launch pad. They get into a good location. They need to keep on focusing. A tough terrain for the trio. Perv, Altus, and Smiley just need to keep on focusing on that rotation right now. Blocking off the pads, which is really good. A really good position you want to find yourself in. We'll go over to Neymar, who had arguably a tough, setting for themselves on the rotation. Let's see what happens. It does look like he ends the stream, unfortunately, so we won't be able to see any of the end games from the team. However, so we'll go over to Reepsy. A POV, we did not get to really spectate in the ending of game number 1, but now here, very much alive, very much healthy. 31 players in a terrain like this. The players are starting to learn those rotations. It does look like they're trying to focus players in Travis and the Cov, because that is a reject skin. They need to drop down into a good layer. He has 500 mats. Player in the box. Oh, and he gets the pump. He gets the piece control. And Reepsy with the Boomer Max. He comes through with a top pump and a half. Still focusing on the rotation. He's got another player. He gets the knock. And Reepsy's just going. He's an IGL, but he's acting like a fragger. He's acting like the best box fighter there is in South Africa. But it's just Reepsy and his mechanic Max that is working out to him. Keeps on that rotation. Everything's happy. The team is looking comfortable. The team is looking very much good. Let's see whether or not Reepsy and them can win a game 2 because this would mean a huge comeback for them. And with a good amount of eliminations already, 6 kill points, it does look like, you know, a successful comeback for game number 2. All you really need with these 5 games, guys, is a top 5. It's a 3 out of 5 games clutch. But Rejects and them still in this one as well, guys. However, one player down, and it's the Cov, and they're trying to get that revive. They can potentially come through with it, and they can't do that over there. It does look like they are on height, so they're in a good position. We'll go over back to Reepsy to see if he can potentially get this victory royale and a shining moment here on the stream. Drops down. It's in the area. Reepsy still making these rotations on the ultimate low. Gets another elimination, and this is exactly what you love to see. Picks up that charge rifle, shotgun, in case he needs it, you know. Oh, the team gets an elim onto Travis, and that's not looking good. That is actually Rejects who will get eliminated, unfortunately. Still controlling low ground. Temperati is going to get eliminated. Delex trying to get into this position, but it doesn't look too good for the team over here. He's going to get one pumped. Delex in from behind. Will he 1v3? Doesn't look like it's going to happen. And they're going to get eliminated. Unfortunately, we don't know who won that game. We'll look at the stats and scoring for you guys to see exactly who popped off or who managed to come through with a massive, massive clutch for themselves. But talk about a pop-off either way coming out from Reepsy, you know. You look at him and you see such an individual with Boomer Max, and I say it again, but he really performed well, you know. He got so much eliminations towards that end game over there, and a second place will definitely skyrocket him to the top of the leaderboard. If he's able to do that consistently for game 3, 4, and 5, we could potentially see a change in the leaderboard, but things are too early to say what is the play going forward. Hopefully we get to see a consistency from him. But guys, going to jump over now to game number 3. We'll be right back. a setting in the tournament. Game number 3, guys, really was a bump and a ride. But now we get to see exactly what happens, with the players. Remember, guys, schedule slightly behind by a couple of minutes, but 3 more games left on our hands. But you guys don't want to hear that. You guys want to hear what the leaderboard's all about. If you look at that leaderboard, guys, we got Travis in first place with 68 points, alongside with Rejects and the Cov. And then in second, guys, is consistent players Ginger, Jamie, and Crispy with 54. And then in third, with a massive comeback, is going to be Reepsy and Delex with 39 points. 33 game for them, coming in second. That is a W in my books. Smiley, Altus, and Piv consistent as well. We are seeing them, do well somewhere or another. 38 points, just 1 point behind third. And then in fifth, guys, it's going to be Warrior, Les, and Zorro with 37 points. They're looking quite decent with some consistency over there. And then also a huge pop-off, maybe to Nyclo, Switch, and Remedy for winning that game over there. 33 points for them. That is literally not bad at all. And then Lurker, Devold, and Deimos in 7th place with Jokesters, 29 points. And then in 8th, it's going to be Aviva, Race, and Cobra. Half decent game for them. Hopefully they get to pick it up in game number 3 with 27 points. And then washed up is going to be Slain, Vagrant, and Skittles with 26. And then in 10th is going to be Minx, Jovi, and Spidey with 25. So that is really a huge GG's to the teams over there. Remember, the prize pool, guys, going to be 2,000 Rand. First place going to be walking away with a massive 1,400 Rand. And second, it's going to be 600 bucks. And then that is going to be the setting for week 14. Now, everything is going to be going down into the plays and so forth. And we'll see what happens with the players. But yeah, guys, if you guys want a room in the broadcast, just message Ron or whatever the case may be, please. And then we'll see. Hopefully they're able to help you out. I'll message Ron again. Just so he can see. Now, hopefully makes you guys a room and you guys can join in from game 4 if that is not too late. But the games will be starting soon, guys. If we go jump on board with Luka Rakic, we get to see that the games is starting, and we go jump on board with him at an off-spawn situation. It does look like that they're not going to be getting contested this time around, guys. They are going to be safe and sound on their rotation, so very much happy with that one over there. And then you go see Race, Aviva, and them also not going to be contested. Going the castle split, really good spot to go. On top of things, guys, we also do have Storm Testros who just ended the stream in GG's. So we go and see Rejects and them where they're very much safe on everything. So landing at Catty as well as Weather Station, very much happy with that. Reepsy and them, let's see what happens over here, guys. Does look like it's going to be an interesting game for them. Hopefully they do clutch up and they go through with some fighting. But they're already outside Boney, so that's interesting. And we go over to Neymar to see exactly what is happening over here. And they also just at Believer Beach on the orange part of the zone as well. So they're just taking up all the heals and healing up, and everyone's getting their preferred loadouts and gameplays going into, the tournaments and so forth. So yeah, let's see exactly what happens. But guys, welcome to game number 3. If you guys are just joining us, this is the NiBBLE Arena FNZA, and we get to see exactly what happens over there. But an interesting game indeed. Let's see whether or not these guys will be able to bring it back for the 3 games, because they are going to need to W key and hopefully, clutch up a couple kill points for themselves on the off-spawn situations. Hopefully we get to see that. Then going over to Perv and them, who are doing actually quite decent on the leaderboard. Top 5 for them, guys. Hopefully they stay consistent. I'd like to see an underrated trio, maybe clutching up top 3 or even top 4 if they stay consistent somewhere or another. That would be really good. So Perv, Altus, and Smiley never really had that opportunity presented to them where they can place top 3 in such a major tournament like NiBBLE. So hopefully we get to see the team do exactly that and pop off in the games over there. Okay, so yeah, Weeping Wood seems to be the location they will be landing at, which is a fair place to be. Still very much good for them. We don't really have any off-spawn situations happening with any of the POVs that we do have, but the pace is there. Bravado Neymar does pick up an elimination. Unfortunately, we're unable to see that. We just missed that coming in, but they do a shakedown here at Holly Hedges, guys, and they're going in for the full swing of kills, and let's see exactly what will be happening for the players. Woke and Scarra taking the lead on fighting. No one has taken any surreal damage just yet. Does look like this could potentially be Warrior in a fight. And this is really some Mafia Fast and Furious vibes that we are getting in from, you know, the entire action over here. And he's just trying to disengage, but the team is so aggressive. They're just chasing him down. It is just a single elimination. They do get him in there, and they will be taking this one with confidence. Very unfortunate, but I believe that could have been Warrior because of the farmer skin that is present on the player over there. Now, let's see exactly what will be happening going forward with these players and Warrior and them. But it does look like they're very much happy with what had happened over here off spawn. You know, these 2 kills that they've already secured themselves is really good and juicy for them going into the end game. And hopefully they are able to stay consistent. They are able to rotate successfully throughout the entire thing. It does look like Travis just fixing up some settings. But we are down to 59 players. Game 3 is really the pinnacle point for, you know, the Fortnite games that we have in South Africa. It really starts to set the tone going forward with how competitive and how much W keen these players have. But look here, it does look like Rejects, Travis, and Decov almost get gifted yet again for zone. So they don't even need to move around too much. They just need to stay in the same setting or POI, and they can make things work for themselves. So very much happy to see that consistency for them happening. You know, that is really where things start to work off for the team, and they really do well. Is when they don't need to rotate and put themselves in vulnerable situations like we do see with players who now need to rotate from the north to the south side of the map. And yeah, that is going to be interesting for them. But we're seeing them very much close to that area and POI of Travis. But it doesn't seem like, you know, Neymar is going to be stopping anytime soon. And I say that confidently because we find him in a build fight over here, potentially going up against Perv. And they need these kills. This is where the gamble happens, you know. They need these kills to come through. They pop off. It does look like a player jumps straight into the box. And this is Dan, however, taken out Woke. But I believe in Scarra and Neymar to come through with an absolute clutch of a madness. We've seen a Neymar 1v3, but we haven't seen a Neymar and Scarra bullfight, box fight situation. They need to get to each other. They need to dominate in the scenes over here. He's trying to find himself the opportunity of an elimination. He does find that crack. The player hasn't been eliminated just yet. His builds are looking quite tough. He's only got about 30 builds to his name. He gets a good tag, and now just one single build. How will he play this? He cannot move to his advantage or how he wishes to do so. Scarra goes in on height. He does manage to get the players around him. Scarra maybe needs to drop a couple mats for his teammate over there, and then they will be in a happy position. But now the storm starts to move over, and we can see the players may be in a sticky play for themselves. But they've cracked a couple players already, so it's a fair, even fight that we have with Neymar. Nice pump. Nice. Oh, Nemo with the clutch. Nemo with the clutch. He gets the eliminations onto Dan and Smack with literally no HP at hand. And he does it comfortably. He can't get the card on Woke. Skara is healing up. Everything is looking good for the team. They clutch up these ones. And they can now focus on getting Woke back into the game and into the fights. Massive coming out from Neymar. Luca, Ryder, Vibes, still playing this one. 47 players remaining. Remember, pinnacle point here. And these players now can potentially go into a third party for them. Launchpad's being dropped and rotated among the teams. But they're not going for the third party. They're instead going to be focusing on going through with everything for themselves and placements. They find a launch pad that they can use to get a massive distance between everyone. Does look like they're gonna go in for the fight over here. Really risky play and a questionable one for themselves as well. You know, they don't have to fight this. It's not like Surge is gonna be happening anytime soon. A box from Rakic, he gets this elimination and quite free, quite frankly, onto Rakic over there. It does take a little bit of damage, but it's fine. The team gets a kill point, and they're happy with that one. Let's now go over, guys, to race to see what's happening with their team, how they make these rotations and so forth. Full team alive, still very much happy with that one. They are in the top 10 situations, but they need to come through with their clutch play to find themselves in the top 5. And that would mean a lot, you know, for the likes of Aviva and Race, you know, who haven't really been having the best of moments recently. But for Aviva, his main focus and area and criteria is content creation. So if we do find, you know, Aviva in the top 5, it's something to celebrate. It's something to really dance on and be excited and proud of, especially in the NiBBLE FNZA series week 14. Hopefully we get to see, you know, him popping off in the ways that we wish is possible. But they're making a rotation in the zone, and you know, let's not give them the pressure at all, and let's just focus on these guys rotating over here. So now Perv and them very much happy in the box at Catty corner, quite close actually to Travis and them. Let's go see where Travis and them are located right here, and we go over and jump on board with them. So Travis and them is at Catty as well, so just at the opposite end, at the entrance over there. We'll go jump on board, guys, with Septic, Vex, and Varshan to see what's happening. But it does look like the team is going to be eliminated. So unfortunately, we won't be able to see their POVs in the tournament. Rotating now. Luca, Vibes, and Ryder. With 2 eliminations. We missed a bit of action, but it's fine. We're still very much here, very much happy. They do find the next setting of elimination as they hit for 70 wide. They get pumped, but the face on pump lands over there. And now you look at the loadout for Luka Rakic, and you're very much happy with what he's got, you know. He can't get these eliminations and so forth. Ryder taking the seat and driving out of the zone. They have 3 kill points, and that's looking really good for them. A comeback maybe. We go over to Neymar where he's fighting. He's managed to knock a player, and we get to see their POV. Gets that elimination and confirmation. 6 eliminations, guys. Things are looking good for the team. Things are looking exciting, and we get to see a comeback coming out from Neymar, Woke, and Skara. Hopefully, we do get some more eliminations from the team, and they make a comeback just for game number 3. Even if it means if they move themselves up to top 4, they still have game 4 and 5 to really set things up for themselves and maybe get a victory royale or 2 but it is make or break. We are yet to see whether or not they will be together after this weekend. I don't think it will happen. It'll be an interesting story for the community. You know, Neymar, Woke, and Scara split after not performing well for the past couple of weeks. But, you know, they have valid excuses. You know, Woke's Wi-Fi just hasn't been at the top, and they had struggled a little bit a couple times. It does look like that could potentially be a Rejects and Travis, but no, they're too far out. They get the focus on the player, and now it's just a single elimination. They just need to tag him up quite a bit. 35. If they don't get this eliminations, the zone will, and it will be kill points either way for the team. "43 players still remaining." It is still quite a beautiful one that we have on our hands. So the players are able to stay consistent some way, form or another. But then we go over to Travis just to see, you know, what is happening, where the team is located, how much eliminations they have. And they are getting a couple tags, which is really good. They are in a good position as well. You know, they got the plays here. So let's see exactly what will be happening with them. They won't be in the zone though, however. And they are quite tagged up a bit. I won't even lie. Rejects has 150 HP. The Cuff has 170 HP. But they do use those chug splashes. So they can get a beam. And ooh, that's a beam onto Neymar. If they can get this. That is a beam onto Neymar if I'm not mistaken. You go over to Neymar's POV. And I think that's a beam onto them. No, it isn't. Apologies, chat, for lying to you. But now we go over to Reepsy. You know, but they also need to clutch up this game. Because if they do so, they can come second on the leaderboard. Not first, I don't think. But second is good either way. They are third right now. And they need to just keep focusing on the gameplay. Reepsy's getting tagged. He's getting focused. Getting tagged from everywhere. They need to just pause a little bit. Almost in zone, getting focused. They get a focus onto the oppositions, where they can go for the triple beam. But it doesn't look like anything dramatic is going to happen from them. We did see an aggressive Luca. Let's see what that means for them now in this position. So far, so good. Everyone is alive. They have a decent amount of mats. No, I lie. 66 wood, 229 brick, and 456 metal. They're going to need a lot more if they want to clutch up. Nice pump. Luca can get this elimination. Need to get back into their old builds. Go over to Piv to see how things are looking out for them. And things are looking quite good. This is looking like a story that can be built. Underrated team, top 3 coming into play. Hopefully, we get to see that here in the NiBBLE Week 14. Perv, Smiley, and Altus hopefully able to clutch up. But on the other things, guys, you still got Race, Aviva, and Cobra, who could also potentially get a top 3. But we have one of their players, Cobra, already eliminated, and they mat count not looking too decent as a duo. So let's see whether or not they will be able to clutch up. Race just climbing up the mountains, doing a little bit of a wall climb, hugging the mountain over there, trying to get into the zone, and they're gonna get focused right now. Not too dramatic, at least. We'll go over to Neymar, see if they got bit by the hand, and they do get bit by the hand, sitting with 2 players in the end game. But so many eliminations, am I right? They've managed to get so many eliminations here. They can focus this team right now, try get some eliminations over here, but it doesn't look like anything will happen just yet. They try to change their rotation on who to focus onto, and Neymar and them just want as much eliminations to try and make a comeback. A top 5, a top 3, and that's where things start to really cook up in, you know, the Fortnite community, because it's better than before, and they're starting to look better as well. Trying to look down on the low ground over here to see if they can find any eliminations, but it doesn't look like it's going to be happening for them. Perv, Smiley, Altus, still alive in this one. 3 eliminations. Couple damages to their HP. They chug up. They look happy. Now they gotta go a far distance zone rotation. And it doesn't look like they're in the best of places to make that rotation come into play. But they hug the zone. Does look like a couple players will be here. They need to just focus on staying ahead. They got 6 seconds to find themselves in a good position. You want to get yourself on height. He gets for 100. They can't focus on eliminations. They need to focus on positioning because the terrain goes up. And if they get behind everyone, the rotations are just going to be so bad. You can already see it happening. For these players who are on the low ground, that is not good for them. Smiling gets taken down. Altus is getting tagged up by the zone. And now we get to see them in a better position. But surely they should have done this earlier. Surely they should have been in a better position. We go on to Neymar and Scara to see if they can clutch up their games, guys. We watch them. They get a beam. He's unable to react. They potentially get that finish as well. Now sitting on 8 eliminations, 23 players. They have Chili Chugs make some rotations. But no need as they sitting in zone and they can wait up and see exactly what happens. Matt's not looking too good either way. So they're going to need a refresh going into the next setting of moving zones. They see the players, the likes of a trio of their opposition. They're going to jump over here, guys, into a better play. Try get ahead of zone. And the team's looking comfortable, looking happy with that one. But only now, guys, 250 mats to his name. That's 25 builds. Not looking too well for them. The zone's happening. The rotation's in play. They look for another pathway to find. And they find themselves onto the good layer. But he's going to get boxed up. He does get a huge pump on the player. No, unfortunately, another trio looks to his name. Scara needs to focus up as a solo. He needs to keep going as a solo because that will be good for himself. Travis and them very much in a sticky situation. Travis, the Cub, need the points. They need to focus up over here, but they do get eliminated and they get sent back to the lobby. Look who's alive, though. It's the comeback kings. Reapsy, Temperat, and the Lex on height in a good position. They get the elimination. They're sitting on 7. They could potentially take first place position. They need to drop down a couple layers. They are way, way, way too high. And you can see them start doing that exactly right now. Good tags. They get the eliminations over there. It does look like it's a 3v3v1 potentially. But now, no mats. Reapsy just running around, trying to get some cover. Unfortunately, he's unable to. But it does look like maybe Temperat and Delex are still alive in this one. And they can do some magic. They do get a knock on one of the players. But Temperat gonna get eliminated. Unfortunately, a second place position may look like will be the action. No mats as well. third place, in fact. So Light, CK, Kareem, and them. Again, no mats onto CK. He's going to get eliminated, trying to harpoon the player. And we have anonymous players taking the Vic Roy. Decent players by the looks of it. Their mechanics are present. So we're going to have to wait and see what the leaderboard means for us. How these players placed. Who was the victory royale for game number 3. And we'll be right back, guys. Thank you so much for all the hype, all the likes, and sharing the stream is very important. Make sure to use hashtag NiBBLE. Talk about the tournament on the media, and we get to see exactly what will be happening. But a little bit of a break to set up game number 4. We'll see you guys just soon. Okay, guys, with the games that we just had right there, leaderboards change, everything looks dramatic. You know, we got the game 3 just ended over there, and in first place is still Travis Reject the Cub with 78 points. In second, guys, it's gonna be Reepsy, Temp the Lex with 67. Comeback gods, I would say. We could call the entire team Ronaldo's. See, no, I'm joking. And then in third is Ginger, Jamie, and Crispy with 59. Consistent, but game 3, unfortunately, just not going in their favor. Nyclo, Swish, and Remedy with fourth place. GG's game. They also sort of have some comeback as well with their team, but just a little less points than Reepsy. And then Divs, Card, and Davs in fifth place. And then in sixth, guys, is Smiley, Altus, and Perv. In seventh is Aviva, Race, and Cobra. Now, Aviva, Race, and Smiley, what would be so amazing for this team is if they can come top 3 somehow or another. If they do get like God plays towards the end, then hopefully they do clutch up that one. Remember, guys, what they're playing for is 2,000 Rand grand prize, 1,400 for first, 600 for second. And yeah, that's going to be a massive, massive GG's to them. Let's see whether or not they clutch up those games over there. But the games will be starting, so let's go and jump on board, guys, with the POVs of Luka Rakic and the likes to see exactly what will be happening and how they play out the games and so forth. And why not bet to start off with, you know, these players over here. Does look like they're switching up their drop slot, going Risky Reels, which is a decent place to go. Does look like there's a competition over here, but unfortunately he's gonna get pumped up. Vibes and Ryder can maybe clutch this one up, but with no pump at hand and Rakic being eliminated, the advantage is not in their favor. They can clutch it up and maybe get a reboot over here. It does look like at least Vibes has a pump up with himself, trying to get the angles to player here. Does get a huge pump. He boxes up the player, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough. Ryder jumps straight in. He also has a pump at hand. He gets that elimination, but unfortunately they're going to find themselves being eliminated over there, and that's going to be Luka's game number 4, guys. Out and dusted, and a GG's to them. But it is what it is. If you're going to 50-50 a situation of spawn, you're going to find yourself in a sticky situation like Luka just had found himself over there. So yeah, this is the team that we have right now. Race, Aviva, and Cobra, guys. So Race, Aviva, and Cobra can come through with an absolute clutch of madness. And I'm hoping, because, you know, it sets a nice vibe going into the Week 14. Underrated Trio grabs a third place. But they're not only the contestant has an underrated trio. We also do have, you know, the likes of Piv as well, who could potentially clutch up the games over there for themselves. So, like, this is what I want. I'm just hoping, can the NiBBLE gods come through with the underrated trio coming top 3? That would be the story and a halftime for a while. And yes, it's just a third place position, but it's a third place position in arguably one of the best bragging rights you can grab in the Fortnite community. Remember, guys, the theme for today is peace control. So Make sure you guys are piece controlling the players, getting that clip, posting it onto social media, and then using the hashtag EPSXNiBBLE, and then tagging EPS as well as NiBBLE Esports. And then a winner could be walking away 250 Rand. Let's see if we do get that into play. We'll go over to rejects and them. It doesn't look like this time they pulled zone. No, they pulled zone 3 games, chat. Do you know how big that is for them? They pulled zone game 2, they pulled zone game 3, and they pulled zone game 4. So literally, they have been happy sitting here at this area and just keep on farming up the rotations and staying safe. So they don't need to worry about how the rotations play out and so forth. So yeah, massive things happening for them, guys, to continue the rotations going forward. It does look like Reepsy and them are finding themselves in some action. Let's go see what's happening. It's not Reepsy actually in a fight. It's gonna be Volk. Name on them all the way down in weeping, guys. And for Piv and them, they need to stop making the rotations out of here as soon as possible. They do have everything they need to make quick rotations in the end game. So let's see exactly how that would be looking like. It does look like we finally have a Septic Vex and Fazan POV. So we'll go on board with them in just a bit. Let's see whether or not we can go jump on board with them right now. Hey guys, I'm not getting any game sound from you. Can you please screen share your Fortnite game?
Excuse me?
I'm not getting any game
share
sound.
Fortnite.
Oh.
Yeah.
Screen share Fortnite.
There we go. So now the team, yeah, Septic and them, very much not happy with how their tournament has been going, you know. We've seen them in the chat, complaining about, you know, being doubly keyed all the way into zone and being eliminated. So it was very tough for them. But then, on top of everything else, we are seeing in the kill feed, Keaton getting some eliminations, Baljeet getting eliminated, Zig eliminating people as well. So really interesting that has come into the action. So many players going left, right, and center and finding so many eliminations. But no, Neymar as well in some mid-game fight onto Dan. They did have a tough one last time around, but they did clutch it up. This time for them, they're very much happy with how things are looking, and they get the full team elimination, all 3 players, and this is some good kill points. And if you look at that leaderboard again, guys, just where these guys are situated, you got Bravo in 11th place, so not the best place possible, but they can still win game 4 and 5 and then potentially be pushed to top 3 as well. That would really be beautiful for the team, seeing that they need the make or break moment for them. We'll go over to race to see what's happening over here, and you find the team very much happy with the rotations. Everything's looking good. They got the loadout suited for them, but they've just been in a sticky situation in the terms that, you know, their zones have been scuffed all the time. They need to rotate to the very ends of the map. Very end of the map over here, because they keep pulling zone all the way to Catty. So let's leave racing them to rotate, and we go on board with a POV to see what's happening in the gameplay. Does look like they're eliminated, and unfortunately we won't be able to see them going to the place. So yeah, let's see exactly what will be happening with the players. But so you see what I'm talking about with Travis, the Rejects, and the Cub. They don't need to make anything dramatic for them. They don't need to move from their setting, from the POI. They don't need to make dramatic rotations going forward. They just need to stick in this area and try, win the game as much as possible. That's literally what it's all about. Get some tags, and massive tags indeed. Looking very happy all the way in Pleasant Park. Tembarat as well on Dirty Dogs. We'll move over to Neymar to see what's happening over there. And more eliminations, chat. They are just so aggressive right here. And they are just trying to make what work for them. They're gonna get focused from behind. And the zone now is gonna start closing. But they're making the rotation into the zone. So that's good for the most part. They do have 2 launch pads, if I'm not mistaken, to work with as well. As well as finding mats for them. Holy, they've been gifted. They've been gifted with a llama left loot over there. Game number 4, guys. It is currently game number 4. Let's see exactly what will be happening with Neymar and them as they sit currently right now 12th place. They are getting a decent amount of eliminations, I must tell you that, guys. But it comes down to now actually clutching up the games and getting good placement points. Hopefully we get to see that. I would love, as much as, social media, lashback, and, people commenting and saying stuff like that. Personally, I would like, Neymar, the best player in South Africa, to find himself in a good position. But it's not going to be easy, chat. It's not going to be easy. Having to make decisions on the rotations and so forth is just going to be a very tough setting. Does look like they can find a 3-2-1 over here as well. They're going in for the W key to full send this one. They are going to need to rotate out of this one in 1 minute 20 seconds. Nice tag from Neymar, managing to break the player. Can he find the opportunity to get into the player's box. And a massive pump. He does find one. He just needs to find the finishing of this. He jumps. He gets into the player's box. The player charges up and it's still fooled. Lurker and Deimos, unfortunately, not finding themselves in a good position. They get those eliminations over there, and that's going to be GG's. But I don't think it's over here, guys, for Neymar just yet, as the third party is now here involved to try take on the action. They need to expand out, try get as much cover as they can, and to try clutch up this one, because they have so many kill points, 5 or 6 kills just for them right over here. Let's see whether or not they can clutch this up for themselves and continue this very dominant game that they have set up for them. Not looking good here for Neymar, as everything is not his. He's in a sticky situation. The team is not here as well. Needs to heal up. Needs the time. 10 seconds is a long time. Woke gets tagged up. His shield gets broken. But I think he clutches it up a little bit. Not too much. But now both players are down. Scorer and Woke. Nice one pump. Not one pump. 104 damage. He does get that elimination. He clutches up. He can get the cards and name on them. Story still continues here in the NiBBLE Week 14 finals. Massive scenes we have on our hands. Reapsy and them looking to be in a good location. Max Matt in a good play going forward. Let's see whether or not they will be able to do so with some clutch plays of their own. Race, Altus, and Smiley, potential top 3 underrated players here, guys, in the tournament. In a good area as well, with 37 players remaining. They can be clutching up. We'll go over to Travis to see what's happening there with him. Travis also in a good position. Rotating on the edge of zone. Lurking his way to height. To a potential fight. Let's see whether or not it will be happening. He's got the crawl walk. Getting ready to ramp up. And it's a bullfight now for the team. So yeah, guys, now going into the setting over here, the end games, they find themselves in a good position. Let's see if they can continue with the games. Does look like they're in a good position as well, you know, to win the final fourth game, final movements of fourth game. Now, with this coming into zone, they could either get the 50-50 or they're going to need to use their launch pad to go over to height. But at the same time, that's still a very sticky situation because, you know, you don't really need to at this point. It does look like Scara, Neymar, and Woke are back in the fighting forms. They do have their team getting some eliminations, but no, Neymar is going to be dead. And unfortunately, but Scar and them do clutch up some kills either way. 33 teams for themselves. They just need some HP over here. Gonna get focused up quite a bit. Just need some white HP for them, and they should be in a good position, but only 2 white. It's gonna be tough for the team, guys, to make anything of that work. Going over to second team right now. Reapsy and them does look like they're in a sticky situation as they get eliminated. It's just Temperat and Delex. Does look like Delex is finding himself in a fight. Delex is gonna go. Tem is gonna go and focus on the rotation. Hopefully Delex is able to come through and meet up with the team. They do so. They find each other. That's really good. The duo can continue the dream to try and win the NiBBLE Week 14 over here, guys. Race, Altus, and Smiley making the rotations here in the end game. Alive, potential top 3 underrated teams, guys. The NiBBLE gods of the Fortnite ZA series will come through. I'm telling you that now. And then we can talk about it. We can mention it because it's a huge achievement for the likes of Race, Aviva, and Cobra. They get some good elimination. They're going to top in to try get some mats, but unfortunately they won't be able to as they cover that over there. With now only 30 players remaining, let's see what would be happening. Does look like the team's going to opt in for a short launch, and that could be a good decision for them. Sit back and wait until everyone starts playing out these tournaments and so forth. Go over to Travis to see whether or not he's still alive in this one. Travis alive, probably celebrating, you know, victory over here, because for Delex and Tem, they can't really get all the eliminations possible, but they can try focus on placement points to keep them second place in the opportunity for prize pool. And just look at that rotation with Travis, managing to swerve on the terrain, not touching it, getting ahead of zone, staying in a good position of layer. They chug splash to get a decent amount of HP. They drop a player, and this could be free eliminations here. And they do so indeed get that. Not sure exactly who that is onto, but this is their first elimination of the game, guys. So they're not getting a huge outburst of points, but it's still very early of the end game. So anything's physically possible with the team. 5 games on our hands. This is game number 4. But they can start to celebrate maybe victory, because with Reapsy and them, potential contestants for first place are going to be in a sticky situation with not that much points at hand. Aviva popping off, getting an elimination in the end game. I'm going to go jump on board with their POV to see exactly what's happening. Race and Aviva, the duo, to make the dream happen for an underrated team to come top 3 here in the NiBBLE. Trying to get a double edit. Race finding himself in a sticky one. He's going to get eliminated, however. Now Aviva as a solo is just going to need to clutch up, and we won't put any pressure onto the team whatsoever, onto Aviva, as he now needs to start making those really crucial plays. Is name on them still alive in this one? Unfortunately not. They placed 9th in the tournament, so we go over to Travis to see what's happening with their gameplay, and we can see them making some decent rotations here. Sorry for the 1 frame, but this is the best we can actually get, guys, on Travis, Rejects, and the Cub. Nice beam from Travis. The frag is getting some eliminations. You can see Travis really looking for that elim, and he does get one successfully. Still a decent amount of mats, and I can only imagine how much more mats the entire team does have, because they have some of their players fragging out, getting some mats. And this is looking to be like a 3v3. Rejects just jump straight in, gets that elimination. It's a 3v2 potential plays coming into the action. And they could potentially secure the win if they get the victory royale. 2 players remaining. Imagine the scenes if the 2 players remaining are Delex and Tem. Nice pump. Travis goes down. Just a 2v2 to Coven rejects. They get an elimination. So 2v1. They keep the play in the zone. Rejects gets another POV. They're not taking on the fight, but there goes the time to get the elimination. And they do so successfully. With a win on game number 4, guys, I think it's a wrap. I think it is a wrap on the tournament here, guys. With 5 games, 1 game left at hand, I think Travis and them will be walking away with a victory royale and an overall win on the NiBBLE FNZA Week 14. We're gonna have to wait to see whether or not, that happens. Maybe Reaps and them go bonkers. They get some mad eliminations and placement points, and they find themselves winning. But a victory royale goes to Travis for game number 4. Guys, we'll be back for the last game. Make sure you guys don't go anywhere. It's going to be a short break. Grab some snacks, whatever the case may be. Get ready for that last game. going into the final last game, I think we can already pick up our wine glasses, guys, and a champagne, and just celebrate Travis, the Cov, and Rejects winning. I don't see anyone else really covering the dramatic lead that they already have based on that 4th game win. And if you refresh this, you can see, you know, they have 110 points. Reapsy and them have 79. Punishers have 77. They need to work for second place here. Reapsy, Tem, and Delex need to work for a second place so that they can clutch up big time. For Genie, Jamie, and Crispy, I love the consistency from them. Hopefully they're able to also bring in a bag for themselves and play second, because that would still be really good either way. But in 4th place is Divs, Card, and Davs, who could potentially, you know, sweep in all the way to second place. And they could honestly win that game for themselves. So let's see what happens for them. Hopefully, you know, they come second as well. And then Warrior, Les, and Zara, without getting eliminated by Neymar, they're going to get 26 points in game number 4. So that's really good. For Bravo, I say a GG's, guys. I say a GG's. If you look at their first 2 games, not really the best. They're starting to pick up that pace and those eliminations and kill points. And they're really getting those clutch moments that we're talking about in the tournament. So this is an improvement. This is a better week for them. And I'm hoping that they continue with this consistency going into game 5, going into future tournaments. Because then people get to keep quiet in the social media, and they don't really get to talk too much about all this stuff over here. So let's go jump on board, guys, with the games to see exactly what is happening with the players. So Perv and them potentially going into a fight. Let's see whether or not that definitely happens. Game number 5, guys. Let's get rock and rolling. Let's get the hype up. And let's see you guys talk on social media. Getting tagged up quite a bit. Piv. Nice tags from Perv, managing to crack the player. Does look like there's a player down below here on Altus. They try to harpoon in here. The player's trying to disengage, but I don't think they'll give him room to do so. He harpoons straight in there. It's a massive 140 pump. The max pump you can get. Zinc gets eliminated as well over here. And they pick up the eliminations, and everyone gets sort of wiped out. So Deerwold and them, all GG's. Congratulations. All-Star they dance to that. Massive for Piv in the off-spawn situations. Good IO chest coming in for Asian as well as Septic. They're all in a good position, you know. Final game, guys. Anything can go ablaze. Anything can happen for these players. But it does look like they're comfortable here all the way at outside Sludgy Swamp. Let's see if they can clutch up their games of spawn. Hopefully they're able to do so. We'll go over back to Piv to see what's happening. Ryder says no, no, no. I wonder what has changed. So Piv and them actually in a tough position. They've already lost Smiley in a fight over here. And it's now down to Altus and them to clutch up. But with a great pump and max damage to the head only being 140, this is not looking too good for the team. He goes and disengages from this one. Gets the revive. However, he is targeted and scanned, so it's going to be a tough one for him to get out of this positioning. Does look like, you know, you could potentially have a fight with Aviva going up against the likes of Vex and Septic, because they are in the same area, sort of, just in a different setting. Septic and them were in somewhat build battle, but it doesn't look like anything really had gone down in that situation. Yeah, I have him trying to take a couple tags at an opponent, but unfortunately nothing's going to connect over there. Game number 5, guys. Going into the zones. We got 30 players remaining. Hopefully the likes of Reapsy and them still available. The mat count is looking decent. The loadout is looking saucy. You got that gold spaz in there, so that's really going to help balance things out for yourself. Does look like Race and them find themselves in a good position, so that's really good for them. Smiley and them get eliminated over here, so unfortunately, that's that they going to be out and done with. But for Travis and them, guys, I think they get a comfortable lead already. You know, they're happy with how they've played. Now just, you know, get as much more placements as you can, get as much eliminations, but they've definitely walked away with this tournament. Travis and them looking to find some oppositions over here. Interesting aspect of the middle map. The middle map always changing every season, guys. We have had the middle map changed. These guys trying to rotate. They managed to crack the player. And now they can try W key that over there and try get some more eliminations for them. But as it stands right now, guys, they've definitely walked out with a W in their hands. 28 players remaining. That means, you know, they're already getting placement points as well to their name and just widening that lead that they already have on the team. So I'm happy that Travis and them get to do that and get to pop off in the ways that they do. So yeah, happy moments. Let's go jump on board, guys, with Race. Aviva has their farm up over here, just actually quite close to Travis and them. Very dangerous area to be in, but they still very much present, still very much alive. Just farming up, trying to get as much mats as they can possible. Go over to Septic and hopefully they're still alive in this one. They are indeed, but they're finding themselves in a sticky situation. He's going to need to launch pad out of this one because 7 HP in the zone is just not going to be good. But it's going to get tagged up either way. And that's Keaton, guys, with some elimination points. We don't know how active Reapsy and them are, but those are really good for Keaton, Storm, and them. 10th place Septic and them get, which is a GG's. And if you look at that leaderboard, doesn't mean anything for Keaton, unfortunately, as they're not in the top 5 setting. We'll go over to Aviva. Things are looking good for them. We'll go over to Travis. Travis and them just dancing. I mean, why not? They've won the tournament, right? get a lever action shotgun out of the bird. Nothing too fantastic for them. Is Neymar alive? I have no idea if he is alive, guys. It does look like he is muted, though. So he may potentially not be in the tournament alive. But progression, right? They're working on their gameplay. They're working on becoming, relic well off for themselves. Trying to get a headshot over here. But it doesn't look like anything will happen just yet. So you go over to Race. We just see what Race is doing, what rotations they have for themselves. And it's full placement, right? They're trying their level best to stay full placement, to stay in the top 5, or if you get into the top 5 area. If you look now at that leaderboard, you got the likes of Aviva and them, 58 points. They pop off, they can't get the top 5 position, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough one. Almost getting tagged up. Race. 440 metal, 440 brick. This is looking really good for the team. Race and them successfully making it into the end game over here, guys. This is looking good for the team. Hopefully they're able to stay consistent some way, form, or matter. But it does look like now Cobra is taking quite the damage, guys. That's not really where you want to be in. Aviva as well. Race is now left as a solo. And it's just not looking where you want it to be with the team. Couple people focusing Race as well. He's down to 41 HP. He's looking very, very tough on his end to come through with a clutch. As a solo, let's see exactly what happens with him. But we go over, guys, to Rejects and them. Does look like they play 7th. So that's going to be a GG's and a wrap-up on their games. Then we go over back to Race to see if they do pop off or if they do come through with some games in hand. And unfortunately, they play 6th. And guys, that is, however, going to be the end of the tournament with no POVs whatsoever with the players. We're not going to be able to get anyone else. It doesn't look like Neymar streaming or Reepsy or Tem. I'm going to have to wait and see exactly what this means. But if you look at that leaderboard, guys, let's stare at it a little bit to see exactly who wins and who comes through with some Vic Roys with their own. Does look like Reepsy, Tembrat still need to submit. Ginger, Jamie as well. But doesn't look too good for the teams, guys. We'll be making an official announcement on who wins. And remember to post your clips, guys, on how you please control some players using the hashtag EPS, NiBBLE EPS, tag NiBBLE Esports, tag Elite Pro Series. You could win yourself a special 250 Rand. Guys, it has been the stream. See you guys in the next one.